All right, Crossroads Sports, episode number 348. I'm your host, Brandon Reef, joined as always by my co-host, Jonathan Birdsong. JB, how are you? Happy Wednesday night.
Man, ain't it? Happy Wednesday night, man. Could be worse. Could be talking about the Pacers being tied. But as we start the show, the Indiana Pacers is 3-1 going to a hostile New York. And like I said, I couldn't be happier, man. I don't know where you want to start the show off tonight, Brandon. You know what I'm saying? I know we got a little bit of OTAs, NFL kind of starting up. Got a little news for that. But I already know. I should say I don't know where you want to start. I know you want to start with the NBA, man. So let's just start right there.
Yeah, Indiana Pacers, big win last night at home in Game 4, 130 to 121. Pacers go out, put a 43 spot on in the first quarter. I don't think you could have responded with a better first quarter with the way that Game 3 ended. We talked about the other night. The fact you had Pascal Siakam with 30, Tyrese Halliburton with 32, Benedict Mathurin off the bench with 20. I will go ahead and say everything I've seen and I've read, John, that Tyrese Halliburton probably has the best career playoff game of an Indiana Pacer player ever in history.
Woo!
That triple-double.
Oh, well, with the triple. Okay. I don't know, Brandon. Let's not forget about Game 3, okay, and how the Pacers kind of let that one kind of slip away from them. Okay. I only say these things to kind of just bring us down to earth as far as like Pacer fans and in the Pacer in the Indiana community. They got to do their part. They got to win. You know what I'm saying? Don't make it a Game 6. That's what I'm saying. Don't make it a Game 6. But like no, man, for coming into these playoffs and like the intel that kind of came out and said Tyrese Halliburton was overrated and all those things. You know what I'm saying? I like the stat line. That's the best version of Tyrese Halliburton that you see. You know what I'm saying? 20 points, and
he was aggressive.
10 or more assists or whatnot. But like, nah, man, everybody bounced back for sure. And we think about Ben Mathurin, king of bounce back games right there. Because like I said last time when we were on this past weekend, they can't win this series without Ben Mathurin. And again, like I said, that doesn't negate the up level that we've seen out of Tyrese. That doesn't negate also the up and level of Siakam either. You know what I'm saying? Another you know what I'm saying, star that kind of risen in these playoffs. But like, no, man, the Pacers they take care of business. Don't let it take to a Game 6, and you know what I'm saying, march right into the finals.
Yeah, I was happy with Neesmith back out there. It didn't look like he was hobbled too much. I will tell you this: he's done okay early in the series. I'm talking about Ben Shepherd, but Ben Shepherd against Jalen Brunson last night was not good. I know Brunson hit both of his 3-pointers back to back on Ben Shepherd, and then Brunson was able to get into the paint just whenever he pleased there. And Brunson really wasn't as aggressive last night as I expected him to be. I say that only because I had some bets on him, thinking he'd be more aggressive in that type of game. I had him at three three-pointers or more. He hit 2 in that first quarter. He never hit one the rest of the game. Matter of fact, I don't even think he shot another one the rest of the game. 2 of 6. He was still 11 to 12 from the free throw line. That's what the Knicks were doing in that fourth quarter, was they were getting that free throw line easily. And if you look at the plus minus, I'm a big plus minus guy. I know D-Cot, our guy, is not a plus minus guy at all. But for the Knicks, Mitchell Robinson, who normally has kind of killed us on the boards and the putbacks as of the last couple of games, minus 20. Brunson, minus 16. All I've seen, I've read online today and seen on TV is the national media and stuff. The Knicks faithful are all killing Mikal Bridges. You gave up 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges, and you're only getting 17 points on 6 of 15 shooting from the guy. Not that I'm not upset that he's struggling right now, but they got to get more from that. You got Karl-Anthony Towns. He took over Game 4. Obviously, he had 20-something in the fourth quarter in Game 3. Fourth quarter, he was able to still put power moves on Miles Turner, foul Miles Turner out. Cat finished with 24 points, 12 rebounds. Hurt his knee. We'll see. He's questionable, as long as Aaron Neesmith questionable for Game 5 tomorrow night. But just real quick before we go completely all in the Pacers. Let's talk Knicks. Mikal Bridges, where are you at? OG still having a solid series, I feel, even though he won for 7-3 yesterday.
Right. The Knicks, in some of their possessions, like I don't know, they just this do whatever offense they just kind of manage. They are a little equipped to hang with the Pacers. But I watched some tapes, man. Some tape earlier today, man. As soon as the ball goes in or there's a missed shot, the Pacers is down the floor within 4 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So again, man, it is really what they say: pace and pressure. Another thing that the Knicks don't do is really pressure the guards before Tyrese starts to get into like picking apart your defense. You know what I mean? So the Knicks gonna have to do better. I know Tibbs hangs his hat on defense. I expect to see, what I'm saying, the Knicks gonna give their best shot. What the Pacers need to remember is that in every one of these games, they've had the Knicks number, except for I want to think like what game 1 the Pacers had to come back or something like that.
Yes.
But like except for that, the Pacers been up on them. The Knicks had to come back from some big deficit. So Pacers got their number, man. They should just wear earplugs tomorrow because it's gonna be loud.
Yeah, Game 5 is going to be tough down there in Madison Square Garden. Pacers right now are 4.5-point underdogs, which makes sense going to Madison Square Garden. I think you're going to get their best shot tomorrow night. I expect heavy dose of Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson
Early,
early OG, and I'll be really interesting to see how Indiana kind of comes out because you can almost come into this series a little lackadaisical. And I know they talked about that last night in their post-game press conference that, hey, we got a job to go and do in New York and all this.
Mm-hmm.
You lose this one, okay, it's 3-2 still. But the pressure goes right back onto you that you have a must-win in Game 6 here in Indianapolis that you can't mess around with. And the Knicks have already proved that they can win here in Indy. They are a complete team. Indiana is. I just think tomorrow will be a little tough. I won't be shocked if they lose the game tomorrow. And I won't be shocked if they win, right? And I think you kind of go into it. Let's give our best. Here's my thing. Let's give our best punch that we can give in this fight tomorrow, but let's come out clean with no injuries. That way we're healthy for that Game 6.
I just hope, what I'm
if
saying?
Needed.
So, if the homie needs to play better though, too. Nembhard.
So here's my thing. Everybody's had a game, right? The Game 1 was Siakam. Game 2 was
might have was Tyrese for sure.
Tyrese Halliburton. Game 2. Game 4. Sorry. Game 1 was Nesmith. Game 2 was Siakam. Game 4 was Tyrese. So Game 5 or Game 6 has to be Nembhard because he's not stepped up in this series.
Right.
We called out the other night Benedict Mathurin, and I said, this dude's working him way to the trade block, and let's trade him, and you save that money for Miles Turner's contract. Right. Mathurin came out there last night. This is like good Lance, bad Lance that we had, right, back in the day. Now you've got good Ben, bad Ben. He still kind of got under with some stupid fouls last night, and I thought he was going to get one for the sling with Brunson onto the ground. If that was in New York, that definitely would have been on us, and he would have had like a flagrant one or something on that. But Mathurin, 20 points in 12 minutes. That just shows how, when he's on, how good he is when he's on. And you got to hit that consistently. That's the problem.
That's just what the Pacers' mantra is. They have this is day 8, probably tomorrow will be day 9 of 13 days that they got to play a team. They're just taking it day by day. I think, again, man, Ben Mathurin heard it. You know what I'm saying? He's plugged into, they were, you know what I'm saying, from ESPN to local radio here, of course. And of course, Crossroads Sports, man. So I think when I look at the game, it's like sometimes he's not necessarily in the he's probably his second or third best one-on-one player, right? We can kind of know that. So like sometimes he kind of loses himself when he doesn't necessarily get touches. So like, yeah, you hit on the nail on the head when you speak that consistency piece. Can't have Ben Rathern no showing with 4 points or less. Again, that's not how they got here. They got here with him being, that dog off the bench.
100%. 100%. Give me 1 second here. I'm trying to flip my.
We got to talk about these T-Wolves.
Yeah, we're going to go there in a second. So kind of right now, betting-wise, on the betting line, by the way, I hit the over easily last night, 220.5. I feel like I was damn near at halftime last night. So tomorrow's is 222.5. So I still think that I'm going to take the over in that one. Betting right now, the number of percentage of bets is 96% on the over and 95% of the money is on the over. Interesting, tomorrow, the Pacers are 4.5-point favorites. They were, underdogs. They were 5.5 to start. It's down to 4.5. 72% of the bets are on Indiana, and 75% of the money tomorrow is on Indiana. So we'll see if they can close out. John, it's going to be tough to win 3 in Madison Square, let alone just getting 1, right? It's going to be tough to get 3 of them in there. So I think you take your carbon copy, kind of what you did the first 2 games a little bit. Mm-hmm. Miles Turner, I need a little bit more out of you. Last night is a little – I give it a 6 out of 10, maybe 7.
Yeah, he did his due diligence blocking shots.
He did.
We got little guys rebounding. You know what I'm saying? The Josh Harts of the world still falling out of nowhere.
Where's he been at? He's had a horrible series.
Well, offensively he has, but like he's still there. You know what I'm saying? To be plucky and like be. You know what I'm saying? That jerk off. I don't want to cuss, man. You already know that, but like yeah. I would be, you know what I'm saying, Pacers beware, you know what I'm saying, be cautious of that as well, man. A big game out of Josh Hart. You don't want him going to any type of triple-double type of situation.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. What was I going to say? Free throws. You got to be better at free throws. We struggled the other night again with free throws. And please, for the love of God, we've been good old playoffs with this.
Yeah.
Let's not waste our challenge in the first quarter. Luckily, we didn't need it. We didn't have it, but there was a couple times last night, I feel like late, we could have possibly used it, but let's not use it in the first. Let's save that. He's had a good track record.
Yeah. When you look at Brandon Dana, I'm sorry, I'm still at work, man. Sorry, man. When you look at the tail of the tape, just look at the coaching, man. I know Tibbs has been here, been there, and we kind of respect him. Hey, man, the homie Carlisle is 10th on the list of coaching wins in the NBA. And we know he's won a championship before in Dallas, and we can talk about the 50 or so games that he won for the Pacers back in 2000, or we can talk about, you know what I'm saying, when he kind of turned the Detroit Pistons around before they won championship environment. That's, you know what I'm saying, maybe we won't talk about that. But again, our guy knows professional basketball, and he's, you know what I'm saying, I had a couple of friends text me or tweet me, ask me, why does the coach always look so stone faced? I said, that's his poker face, man. Like you can't get too high up, too down in these situations. Again, Sunday night at halftime, I thought it was over.
Yeah, you got chirped. I saw online.
Yeah, man. The homie, Uncle Danny Bridges from the Indianapolis Recorder said, "You said it was over." I said, "Well, you know what I'm saying." The Knicks didn't think so. So, but like, yeah, man, it's all good. But like I said, man, I think the edge goes to Carlisle in coaching. Tibbs came with a starting
lineup adjustment.
Yeah, lineup adjustment. Carlisle came with, you know what I'm saying, probably had a backroom conversation with Big Ben. You know what I'm saying, hey, dude, do you not know that you are available for an extension? We can't give you that extension if you're playing like garbage in the playoffs. This is where you know what I'm saying, get your money at. Not get it. We love you when we have these 17.5 rebounds in this, January, February. You know what I mean? But like, this is where you become legendary and really get your big time money. So, Big Ben, we need you.
What's your thoughts on Tony Bradley's play so far this postseason?
As far as this is being just a piece that we can rely on from a I said we, so we can the Pacers can rely on as rotational. Yeah.
Are you surprised it's more of him lately than it's been Thomas Bryant? Because Bryant played the first 2 games really, I thought, decently well.
Yeah, but that I don't think
he's getting pushed around.
I don't think he plays at the, the pace.
Calm down now, IU boy.
Hey, they ain't gonna come after me. They got enough problems with the NIL. But no, but I don't think he necessarily made one. Carly Towns is still a matchup nightmare. Miles is having a problem out there when Cat takes him out there. Below or above free throw line. He's kind of like no man's land because the Pacers don't want to double. They would probably have to double if the homie was out there. So they're gonna need him. I think he gets some spare minutes coming up, especially if they
How do you feel the play with TJ McConnell lately?
It's been up and down. We got up a little bit yesterday, but it's been up and down. I think that's kind of the reason why Brunson has such a poor negative. You know what I'm saying? Plus minus. Because, dude, he might end up with 30, but, whoever – it's not that TJ, he's a bad guard. He's not – it ain't as bad as Shepard. I want to be clear. It ain't as bad as Shepard. But TJ gives, just as much as he takes that Brunson gives. So he might not have 30, of course, at the end of the night because he's not going to get that many shots. But, when TJ ends up with 7 or 10 and it's on Brunson, that's why Brunson got set down because defensively, man, the Pacer guards come at you at waves. Cleveland found out. Now the Knicks are finding out.
Looking ahead tonight, Western Conference Finals, Game 5, closeout possible game in Oklahoma City, Thunder and the T-Wolves. Oklahoma City right now, 8.5-point favorites tonight to close them out and advance to the NBA Finals. First time since 2012.
Is that? I mean, I guess the folks feel, the bettors feel super confident on it, man. Last time we saw Edwards, he didn't necessarily look like the face of the NBA at all.
No, it's making my thing look terrible. My take.
If he can get some help tonight from Julius Randle, who had a terrible game, if they can get Naz Reid involved early, the McDaniels kid has played well all playoffs. You know what I mean? So those are the kind of the keys for them. DiVincenzo has played well for them, and them, but they still struggle with points off the bench. So that's their biggest thing for me. Naz Reid showing up. Julius Randle showing up.
Yeah. Thunder-wise, we kind of talked a little bit, not to put the cart before the horse. If you're Indiana, do you have a preference? Thunder, T-Wolves?
They really ain't got no choice, do they?
I know, right? I feel like Thunder's young enough that they can play with them. They can definitely beat them. I know we can look at this year's stats, and they lost twice to them by double digits.
Mm-hmm.
But one Neesmith was out, and you'd probably have Neesmith on SGA is my guess. There now the Chet situation, Miles, you're not going to get pushed around by him.
I would think if Miles win, right? Not if Miles has tested the test of time. Held his ground against Giannis in the first round. The front line of the Cleveland Cavaliers held his ground. If we remember the big time strokes, so it's in it. He has the capability. It's just that the volume of shots that he's going to get versus the volume of shots that the other person that he's matched up against. He's not going to you're not going to go shot for shot. You know what I'm saying, with Karl-Anthony Towns. But if Miles plays his solid game, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna go crazy, Brent. 25 points, 2 or 3 blocks, and you know what I'm saying. It's never gonna be crazy rebounding with Miles Turner. But so if he gets 5-6 rebounds, that's what we want to see out of Miles Turner.
I do feel in that finals matchup where we could get exploited defensively is at that shooting guard position with Andrew Nembhard, because he's going to have a bigger Jalen Williams or a bigger Lou Dort size-wise. They're going to be able to take him into that post. And Nembhard's going to have to bulk up a little bit if that would be the matchup that they would have.
The Oklahoma –
He can't guard him. He can't guard Williams at all. That's my concern.
The Oklahoma City Thunder do what the Knicks don't do. Now, both teams are pretty good defensively, but the Oklahoma Thunder, they will try to force the ball out of Tyrese Halliburton's hands and try to make somebody else beat them. The crazy thing about Oklahoma, they are very similarly constructed to the Pacers. Not a whole lot of guys coming in on except for Caruso. You believe that? That's the only trade they ever really made in like the last 3 seasons, man. Like where they brought in somebody from that they didn't actually draft.
Yeah.
I know also was a free agent or whatever, but like the core of their team was Lou Dort or Gay or Case and Walls. All those guys are drafted by the Thunder. Again, they go very deep. They probably go 6, 7, 8 deep, just like the Pacers. Point guard driven. You know what I'm saying? So very similar teams. It's just, you know what I mean, it's kind of just like who can, and like I said, they want to score just as fast as anybody else too. So it's going, the homie texted me today. Scott K. Nichols said, man, I said, dude, that game, the totals got to be close to 250 at the end. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even 300. That's not hope. That's not.
Yeah. For sure. That would
Hey.
be. But yeah, I'd like to see. Oh, Reggie Sykes, NBA Finals, Pacers in 6. Love it. Helping that older gentleman out. Yeah, Reggie, I got to help this old timer out a little bit here.
What happened? You helped some old guy out?
Yeah. There was a thing at Meyer, man, and this, the self-checkout. Sometimes that shit gets confusing, right? For some people.
Yeah.
I was at the self-checkout yesterday, and there's this older gentleman, very, very old veteran there. Man, he wasn't comprehending the scanning, and it'd say, put the item back. So he's having problems. The lady came over. She was on a different level, and she wouldn't comprehend. He forgot his wallet. So he started getting upset with her. And I just kind of said, I had my headphones in. I was like, listen, I said, I got it. Because it wasn't going anywhere. They both were trying to stand their ground, and he was very confused and getting upset. So I said, I got you, man. I'll cover the $43 bill. You're good to go. Got him on his way. Okay. He was very thankful. So good juju. Maybe that's because the Pacers won last night. So maybe that's what helped it out. Hey, but by the way, Roy Hibbert, Al Harrington,
they was all in the building.
McKee, Travis Best, obviously Reggie.
O'Neal.
Hey, first O'Neal, my boy. First time since he's been gone. Danny fucking Granger. Oh, it was so pleasant to see Danny Granger back in Gainbridge Fieldhouse last night.
Yeah, a lot of stars kind of came out last night. We had 50 Cent on the sideline with a free.
Did you see his shirt?
Free
Diddy? He must love baby oil.
Diddy probably will get free at some point, but it won't because 50 Cent wore a t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? That's a suggestion. So
let's play, Reggie.
But yeah, man, a lot of stars. Pat McAfee was here. Spike, you know what I'm saying? Spike Lee. It was great.
Let's send those sons of bitches back to New York. Ben Stiller, Chalamet. There were some other rappers I didn't even know. I know the What the Helly guy was there too.
Oh, was
so? Yeah. Yeah, I know Danny Granger was. Reggie said, yeah, Danny was mad with the Pacers for a minute. Yeah, he was pretty upset with us for a bit, and I think sometimes, hey, Danny left us. He ended up obviously the injuries in Philly and such. Right. He went somewhere else. Miami, I think he played for a hot minute.
Miami till his knees kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then he went and worked with CBS Sports Network for a bit, college basketball there for a little run, a year or two. And then he kind of went exile, but it was good. It was really good to see him back. George Hill was there last night as well. So, by the way, I've seen on TikTok, what did the Pacers do to piss off Jeff Teague? This man is just blasting the Pacers.
He's a local guy, man. He's a strange ball. I'm sorry, man.
Oh,
he's strange. He gonna come after me. My daughter don't go to Pike no more, and they basketball team ain't the greatest. So
no.
Jeff just kind of takes his personal play very personal. If you tap into any of his other stories, man, he don't really have no respect for anybody he played for. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's like, man, I went down to Atlanta. They told me I wasn't gonna shoot. That's my Jeff T. They told me I wasn't. I said, shit, I'm gonna shoot. So that's kind of how.
I love that was a great impression. That was a JB impression there, Jeff T.
I went to IU, man. They had all these other guards. They had him. They had him. They had me last. My dad said, "We getting out of here, man."
Oh man, I might have to clip that, keep that quote there for that, JB. Quote was that's at the 28-minute mark. I gotta write that down. Giannis. Still
Yeah.
things in the works for a Giannis trade. I know we talked a couple weeks ago. San Antonio as a spot with a number 2 pick possibly being traded, and the Bucks having the top 8 guys come work out for them, and they don't even have a top 8 pick.
Right. There's
But
more.
also now
Go ahead.
Golden State's
Right.
interested.
That's gonna be.
What do they got? What are they going to send?
Right.
Jonathan Kuminga can't be the only thing.
No, they would have to send more than Kuminga. I don't think that's like again. They don't like nobody wants Draymond Green like that. Like that would be the contract that you would have to trade. Jimmy Butler's a free agent, and the homie that used to play here, he's not gonna get you Giannis. Buddy Hield is not gonna get you Giannis in any type of trade. So I don't know how Golden State does that. While you were sleeping, America, it's been come out that Kevin Durant has some interest if the Spurs were to trade for him. Again, though, Brandon, they're gonna ask. They would have to. I would, if I'm the general manager of the Phoenix Suns, you're gonna have to give me, you know what I'm saying? If you're talking about trading Kevin Durant, it's $55 million contract. I get it, it's expiring, but like you're gonna have to give me at least pick 2 and I know for Kevin Durant, and I get he's 37 years old, but like you have to give me one of them, Stephon Cancel or your pick. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I don't know where it's gonna be.
It's gonna cost them less to get Durant than it would Giannis.
Oh, absolutely. If you just said it, Brandon, about 10 minutes ago when we were sorry, that Mikal Bridges, they traded for 4 first rounders. Giannis is the MVP of the league, world champion, all those things, man. That's gonna cost you for the rest of your life if you trade for the rest of your life. So, but there's all kind of moving parts kind of going on. As we still are processing through the playoffs, the draft. Some guys did go back to school to hop on some of those NIL deals. Some guys stayed in. There's somewhat thinking that, you know what I'm saying, some other teams might get involved. The New Jersey Nets, the Brooklyn Nets also get into some of these, not necessarily Giannis talks or Durant talks, but, you know what I'm saying, player movement talks. So I expect a whole lot because the free agency market is not super great, but teams do have to shed contracts. I expect a whole movement in trades.
Yeah, Clippers are interested, expressed interest in Drew Holiday. So that's a name to look at possibly being moved. But I don't know if you take him there. I mean, Drew Holiday, if you're playing 18 holes of golf, Drew Holiday, you're probably on hole 14.
I don't know, man.
I was not impressed this year with him. I think he took a whole step back from last year.
As far as like playing, yeah. So if it's the time to, like you say, jettison on Drew Holiday, it could be, especially if the new ownership and they retain Brad, right? Especially if they come in and say we got to shed this amount by that, you know what I'm saying, a significant amount, because they don't want to necessarily go into the tax or whatever. Then he might be a casualty. Him and Unicorn.
Yeah. Pacers, we've talked about them. They've got plenty to look at. Miles Turner's your main priority on re-signing him. There was a report that the Pacers could look at going for the first time in 15, 16 years, go into the luxury tax to retain Miles Turner.
Okay.
I've started tweeting Stephen Miles. Steven Simon, telling him do whatever we have to do, go into the tax. So that's an everyday tweet now until he acknowledges it.
I'll double it. I got you.
Perfect. Yep, please do. Because he's a valuable piece to the team. He is. I know I've been shitting on Miles Turner previously over years.
Me too.
But the dude came to play this year. It's a contract year. He came to play. We need to do what we can to retain him because bigs-wise, we've seen what we've had. We see what we got. Miles Turner, hands down, has the good games. He's going to have good Miles, bad Miles at times. But I think he's had a lot more. His Player Tribune article that he put out was great, how much he loves this city. If you just go to re-sign him, you have your own casualties, right? I talked about initially Ben Matherin, that type of casualty that might have to
Obi Toppin,
look at. Obi Toppin, that type of thing. I think Obi Toppin for sure. But then I talked about, can you get maybe your franchise players who's making $42 million a year, Siakam and Hallie, Can you get him to take maybe a $5 million cut, restructure the thing to put towards a little bit towards my own keeping him? But I don't know. But whatever you do, you got to keep him. And I'd love it if we can keep just going the luxury tax for now. You're seeing what he's doing and where we can get him to. If this franchise takes a step back and says, nah, salary cap, luxury tax, like, what are you here for? You're not here to win like you say you are, and you're showing us. But when it comes down to nuts and bolts, are you really going to pull that trigger and say, yeah, it's all about winning right now while we have this nucleus?
I'm with it, man. Unless, like I said 2 weeks ago, man, they trade out for expiring contracts. Our buddy DeAndre Ayton's out there. But, said that don't move nobody cages here in Indianapolis. So we just hope the Simons sign Miles, keep the team intact. If this team intact, if they can win a champion, if they go on to win a championship this year, keep the team intact. They got probably a 2-3 good run in them. 2-3 good year run. Remember, y'all, Jason Tatum's not walking through that door next year. Texas is gonna be different. Just remember, y'all, the Washington Wizards still stink. They still need guard help.
The Miami Heat are still struggling.
Correct. They still need guard help down in Orlando. So, like, why not? This is your time. The Knicks probably go if the Knicks lose, Tip is probably not going to be there. Again, more change for them. Charlotte Hornets, hell, they talking about trading LaMelo Ball, man. So, again, Pacers, get to the finals is huge anyway, right? Just go ahead and win it, man, and, let the money flow.
I'll say it again, and I told my wife, it's hard to say this. It's been crazy. Yeah, Detroit will be tough. Justin Powell, for sure, they'll be tough.
They will.
Cleveland, they're going to add some pieces, it sounds like. We'll see what they end up doing there. But the Indiana Pacers are one game away from the NBA Finals. It's been 25 years. I was let's see, give or take. I was 2000, so I was 16. I was 16 years old when the Pacers went to the finals last time. So this would be amazing. Last year I said we got the Eastern Conference Finals. We got swept. We were in all those games. Yep. It was frustrating because I said, damn, what we have with this team, I didn't think we'd get back. I thought we were ahead of schedule, right? I thought we still needed a little bit. Things have kind of gone our way. Certain things have fallen correctly. You got to jump on what you got. And this is our opportunity here. And, win or lose, finals-wise, still impressed with this team. But I think they got just as great a shot to win this championship as anybody.
Yeah, just take them 2 Oklahoma City Thunder games out your mind. Take them out your mind.
And you're still there was conflicting reports from our last show. People want to know, were you creating still the parade route for the Pacers?
Parade, definitely gonna go around a circle. Everybody knows this. Right?
Circle to Hallville.
Beach, man, keep
down to Beach Grove.
Going to Beach Grove, man. Going to Pinhead.
By the Walmart.
All that, yeah. Yes.
Up to the east side.
We can't forget Avon, man.
Up Shadeland.
Got to go down Shadeland. Got to go up to Cal. One time.
Up through the construction. You got to go through the construction zone up there. Absolutely. Through Castleton.
I know who we forgetting. What Indianapolis area we forgetting? Brightwood.
Broad Ripple?
Brightwood, Broad Ripple, that's where the party ends at. Yeah, that's where.
Ketzler. Gotta go.
Our party's at, yeah.
Yeah. Out to St. Vincent and then back down. Martin Luther King.
To be on the flow too. It's okay. She be on the flow.
Michigan Road down to Martin Luther, back over to Broad Ripple. You're there.
We there.
So
correct.
That's the route, people. Get it ready. We're getting the routes ready.
Long
NFL. OTAs have started, and we already got players in trouble in the NFL.
Oh, I didn't know nobody was in trouble.
Did you see your man yesterday on a video that came out last night?
Is that trouble, or is that just a young man having fun?
Well, he had the pink baggie.
Well, that's not.
He told the girls don't take too much now.
Yeah, that's problematic. And then
that's very problematic. You signed a new deal.
And did he show up at OTAs?
Mm-mm. Now he had a good lineup with him on the boat, but
I bet you with a pink baggie he had a good lineup.
So, but Vrabel said that he was talked to him and he will be handling that accordingly. But yeah, OTAs. Hey, saw the first video of Richardson's throwing. He looked a little better out there slinging it to those guys. I know he didn't have anybody in front of him, but
I know, you know what I'm saying, rest in peace, Jim Mercer. That's why I changed the background to the Colts instead of the Pacers, man. I know everybody kind of wants us to like go crazy and OTAs. Again, everybody kind of knows, you know what I'm saying, it's all Anthony Richardson to like I said, shepherd this team through the rest of this season. I kind of want to go around the league. A couple teams is kind of just in my ear. The Browns, their quarterback situation. What that kind of look like? The Cowboys, who I think some of the folks kind of believe that they might not make the playoffs this year. The life after Derek Carr, what does that look like? And they didn't really, you know what I'm saying? I don't think they necessarily they didn't, you know what I'm saying, they don't have this a solid quarterback, I don't believe, set in place. And then Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? I know your folks up north, up in Pittsburgh, kind of waiting on the Aaron Rodgers, you know what I'm saying? And I know
what are we doing?
What are we doing, right? This is what they ain't what Terry Bradshaw said. Terry Bradshaw said it's a joke. It's a joke.
Terry Bradshaw, he's losing it a little bit.
But the thing is though, Terry Bradshaw starts thinking with his 1979 and his Super Bowl rings and like the in his heart how he feels about the Pittsburgh Steelers. But like no, there's another guy out there, Kirk Cousins. I know it may not just say send a whole lot of wind in your sails, but like they can't have him as a backup. You know what I'm saying, all year. So I kind of see some decisions being made. The Giants got three quarterbacks who yesterday in 7-on-7, they all look like trash or whatever. But again, as things progress, hopefully it'll look better with Dart and the homie and the homies, you know what I'm saying,
Russ took first team reps today. So
well,
if that means anything.
Hopefully it looks better than it did yesterday. But like there's some teams around the league that got some questions, a lot of questions around them as we approach OTA. I again, Brandon, I like folks. If you telling me he looks solid, then you know what I'm saying, as long as he can stay upright, the Colts will be in a good situation.
Were you with Danny Dimes the other night when he was at Tin Roof? Macking on the girls? There's a video of him macking with the girls at Tin Roof.
The Vito?
No, Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones.
No, I didn't know that. He was where?
Tin Roof, downtown.
Did he?
There's a video of him smacking on some girls down there. So
man,
he's in OTA shape. He's ready.
Let's see what he got.
I said at least he's starting at Tin Roof and working his way to Broad Ripple. I mean, you got to start downtown.
Red Garter.
Yeah. Steelers wise, I don't know what we're doing. We still haven't heard shit from Rodgers. They thought it'd be the OTAs time, but here's my thing. Even if he goes to OTAs, what's he going to do? He's not going to practice. So, like, what's the purpose for him to even be there if that's the case? If it's about somebody told me, well, he can get his playbook while he's here. Well, why can't the Steelers just mail him a playbook, right? And say, here, learn this, take your summer, and then we'll see you training camp.
Right. We haven't seen how to hear that. So
I'm at that point right now where, hey, it's Mason Rudolph right now or Will Howard, and we'll deal with it accordingly.
Don't ever question Mike Tomlin in winning.
I know, right? I want to go into something that's a little touchy for you.
Uh-oh. Ah, man, I already know what it is.
College football. Two things. Number one, it was announced that the SEC wants to play a non-conference game. This was Brian Kelly, your buddy Brian Kelly from LSU, said the SEC coaches favor adding one non-conference game against a Big Ten opponent in a scheduling agreement, but they need a partner to do it. We want to compete against the Big Ten. Following the last day of the coaches' meetings at the SEC spring meetings, look, the Big Ten right now holds it on the SEC. They won the last two national championships. That's the reality. We want to get challenged in that regard. We'd like to be able to get that done, that every SEC team has to play one non-conference game against the Big Ten every year on their schedules. That being said, your boy, Greg Sankey, said, what are we doing still with the NCAA? Like, why are we in the NCAA? Like, we talked about this in a year, I think the last 2 years, about them trying to SEC to pull themselves out of the
Right.
NCAA.
So Greg Sankey, I hope he's listening, and then
Yep.
maybe, but I get it. So like the SEC feels like that they generate enough money, and because it's owned by ESPN, that they don't need the NCAA. But the crazy part of that though, Brandon, is like every SEC team, they schedule outside the SEC, do they not? In order to fluff up their SEC schedule to get to said championship. Now, SEC teams, you want to play a Big Ten team every year? Man, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Again, I don't know what the whiffum is in. I don't know. I need to look at that first. Like, why do you want that set in stone? That you want to play? Like, because again, if you send a team that's in the top 5 of the SEC up to Ohio State and they get blown out, well, then you didn't put your team behind the 8 ball. They gotta, you know what I'm saying? They gotta play catch up. So,
but I don't think it's as bad anymore because really you're getting the Big Ten, the SEC are getting the majority of the playoff teams really. So right, even if you lose to one of these teams during the season, your season's not over for a title.
True. So, but I'm also serving Big Ten. I'm also looking out for my middle of the road teams. And no shade on
don't say not Purdue. They're bottom.
The USC of the world, the Indianas of the world, when things kind of come back to reality.
Wisconsin.
You know what I'm saying? Wisconsin, who's, again, I don't know how the homie still got a job, right? I mean, I love him, but I don't know how the homie still got a job. But again, it's Greg Sankey can say those things, but like Auburn, where they at? You know what I'm saying? Greg Sankey can say those things, but like Ole Miss, where you at? As far as like the big picture in the last 3 seasons, right? So again, I get it. The money flows through the SEC. I get that. If the Big Ten kind of comes out and says we want to break away too, then it's going to be like the Big Ten versus SEC every year. That's going to be kind of boring, Brandon.
Also, they've changed the formatting now that the college football now, the top 4 teams, regardless, will have buys. So top 4 teams is not by the divisions now. Winning your conference, you're automatically going to buy. Now it's the top 4 teams. So it could be 3 SEC teams. 3 SEC teams get the buys going into the playoffs now. So they've tweaked that. And then now Sankey has came out for the SEC, which I think he's trying just to be the czar of college football, said that the SEC has interest now in a 16-team college football playoff, but automatic qualifiers sell the conference short, is his comments.
Again, man, he talks worse than a politician. He talks worse. And Brandon, I would also ask, man, so you want the SEC to break away in all sports? Because basketball, again, I get it today. You know what I'm saying? If football brings in 500 million, basketball for them probably only brings in maybe 300. But for these other conferences, the Big 12, the Big 10, basketball, I would say is just as important. Football is important for Michigan and Ohio State. Basketball is important to all the other teams. Correct me if I'm wrong. Basketball is important to all the other teams in the Big 10, right? When you go to Big 12, you talk about Arizona, you're talking about Oklahoma. Oklahoma's not in the Big 12 anymore. Shame on me. It's in the SEC. But Arizona and some of those other great teams in the Big 12, basketball is more important to them than really even football, even though football does bring in money. Shout out to Prime in Colorado. But like, nah, man, I don't think Greg Sankey, like, dude, you can say those things, but like the Final Four, okay, break away from the NCAA, and Kentucky will never be in the Final Four, ever. You be in that Las Vegas tournament or the NIT, maybe.
So also, it's the SEC leaders are showing support and some trepidation because they want to have play-in games now for the college football playoff.
Play-in game?
Play-in games is something they talked about, as well as possibly having, and how crazy is this? I don't know how this would work because there's already enough people bitching about adding games to the season that was already added.
Mm-hmm.
But the SEC has interest in having, instead of the SEC championship, 1 versus 2, you would have 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3, in the SEC championship semifinals, and then those winners would play in the SEC championship.
Yeah, Greg Sankey needs
They want to add another game to the SEC championship to get to the championship.
Yeah, no, man. Greg Sankey better figure, like, dude, think about what you are saying. I get it. You know what I'm saying? They feel like they're sharing too much money with all the other teams, or they feel like their brand of football is superior to everybody else's. But again, like trying to come up with gadgety, gimmicky ways to get more SEC. But damn it, Brandon, this is what frustrates me. Yeah, you're right. Your freaking conference don't. I get it. They get money. The school wins the freaking title. If Alabama said, "Hey man, we want to leave," they not, and come play in the Big Ten, they not. That Alabama leaving, you know what I'm saying? LSU leaving, but LSU wins the title. That's what's important. We want, like, man, like, do you think the Alabama fans are going crazy when LSU won the title? No, they losing their mind. Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't get this SEC conference. Like the conferences don't win nothing, man. Teams do. Dude, I'm gonna probably go ham. You're right. Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's weird how they would do that. So what they would theoretically do as well, the top two teams in the SEC championship game would get automatic qualifiers to the conference college football playoff.
Okay.
The other four teams to get your four teams, they would have play-in games. So 3 would be playing 6 and 4 would be playing 5. And then those winners, those are placing play-in games for them to get into the college football playoff. So that way you're still getting your guaranteed 6 teams instead of whatever, but having a play-in to get to there. Because your top 2 teams who are playing the championship game are automatically in. They're not going to get, because we've seen it, where you lose your conference championship game, and guess what? Then you're removed somehow. If you're at that point where you're at 11 and 12, you're gone. Right. Well, if this scenario, you both would get in, and then the other 4 teams that are left below you then would have play-in games to get to those other 2 spots.
SEC, I get it, man. SEC has...
It makes sense that way, but not for the conference.
No. SEC, you know what I'm saying? Stop crying. You know what I'm saying? Bring back Tim Tebow. Stop crying. And just and just tell the schools to, like, level up and try to win. Florida, try to level up and win. Ole Miss, try to level up and win. Go play BYU, you know what I'm saying, in November at BYU. Don't schedule that game against Mercer. You know what I'm saying?
That idea is also being floated by the Big Ten.
To do what?
You'd have your 2 teams in the Big Ten championship automatic qualify, and then the next 4 teams would have a play-in games to get to the college football playoff. And it'd be the games would be played at campus sites.
Okay. I'm with that. Really, really screws out the mid-majors and all this, though, don't it?
No, it does. It does. But how much money does the mid-majors really make for college football, right?
They, again, hold on, slow down. For their own personal school and their brand.
Oh, I know.
So that's where we need to be thinking about, not no damn conference. When Purdue goes to the Final Four, IU's over there crying. When the homie Signetti was over here talking about how he was going to run up the score on everybody else, Purdue was over here crying. Word or not, why the hell? Why didn't we hire this? No, man. Conference don't win championships, man. Teams do. Schools do. But go to hell, Grant said. Maybe you didn't make me mad. You didn't tell the man go to hell.
Told you. Bill Self and other Big 12, you're going to say no shit to this because I did. Bill Self and other Big 12 coaches met, and they are in a consensus in favor of expanding the March Madness tournament. Well, no shit, because all these other Big 12 teams want to get in. They want some of that revenue.
Expand the tournament, the Blue Blood's still gonna win. That's the difference between college football and college basketball. Gosh darn it, Duke's still gonna be up there. UConn's still gonna be up there. It don't matter. Open it up. Okay, I'm gonna open it up. It don't matter if you ain't blue or can't get your blue blood together.
We just saw it in this NCAA tournament. It was all favored. It was chalk a lot of the way.
Yeah. So college basketball is a little different, for sure.
Yeah. Question of the day for Jonathan Birdsong: are you a fan of you're up by 3, you foul?
Nah, man.
At the end of a game?
Nah, man. If a guy hits a 3 on you, one, like double, like you already know where the shot's coming from, who it's coming from. You know what I mean? Most teams got okay, if it's Brunson, I mean if it's the Knicks, it's gonna be Brunson. If it's you know what I'm saying? But like, nah, man, don't start like anything stopping the clock to extend the game, that benefits the other team.
Caitlin Clark out with a quad strain, going to miss at least 2 weeks, probably more. Ticket prices have dropped 71%. Tonight's game, you can get in for $12 now for their game tonight in Washington. It was over 180 something dollars to get in. How much is this going to kill the WNBA with her just being out injury wise? Because she never really had it last year. We had to worry about it.
Right. I just kind of hope that the Fever can sustain a winning record. I think right now they're 2-2. Right now, they've had some other pieces kind of come in. And like I said, Leah Boston and she ain't no slouch. So they just kind of got to weather the storm for the next 2 weeks. I get the dip in interest and whatnot because everybody wants to see the new goat on the block in Caitlin Clark. But from a one-loss standpoint, and not necessarily the entertainment factor and like all the hype, the Fever just need to just hold down these next 2 weeks.
Anything else you got? I was trying to go say something about I see your article about Tim Duncan saying he hates some things about the NBA.
Nah, he's just, so like, yeah, and it's something I ain't fully digested. He just kind of misses like low posts. Back to the basket.
I got something. Shout out, congratulations to athletic director Luke Boso and the IU Indianapolis Jaguars hiring their new coach, Ben Howlett, coming over from West Liberty College. He is now the new head basketball coach there. Obviously, the incident that happened that they end up leading Casaro leaving.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hold on one second. Keep talking. But yeah, Ben Howlett named the new IU Indy. We're hoping we can be able to possibly get him on here early this summer. We can reach out to Boso to get him on. I'd like to talk some ball with him.
For sure. I think the homie's been in Division 2 for the last couple of years or whatever. He's got a winning record in Division 2. That kind of speaks to being a good developer, as well as a coach. IU Indy, shame on me. I almost said it, man. IU Indy has some resources. Again, they're going through a transformation where, they have a up-to-date facility, and Crossroads Sports ain't over there thinking like, where's the, where's the big screen at? But like, nah, man, it's gonna be good to see new leadership on those sidelines at Indy, man. But your homie, Gottlieb, he petitioned the NCAA to play a TBT team, man. I ain't got no problem with that. None. Not any. More teams probably need to think outside the box like that.
I mean,
it won't count as a win or a loss. It's kind of like to get his team and to get the people attention on you. So I'm with it.
Okay. That should be starting up here soon, I think, right? TBT, or is it July?
It's in the middle part of the summer. So he's just trying to get his team ready to show him, hey man, we're gonna play against some real basketball players that when the season starts.
He needs to do something. They were horrible last year.
They were terrible, and he was having meltdown on the sideline, and on Twitter, if anybody remembers. So they need to do something. Golden Eagles.
Yep.
Milwaukee.
100%. Anything else, John?
Nah, man. I know, folks. Hey, man. Shout out to the Cubs, #1 in the Central. You know what I'm saying? I know it's usually, we always talking about Yankees or Dodgers being #1 and getting ready to go to the World Series. But it's still a long season, y'all. We still got to get to, October, y'all. But man, the Cubs #1 in the Central, man. Tap your hat to that.
Yeah. Go Reds. They've they won a couple of their games lately. So they're working their way to at least being relevant through June, maybe July. We'll see, hopefully. Hockey, they're both those series are in 3-1 right now as well. Indy 500, I know we recapped that the other night on our show. They are going to Detroit this week. And then also PGA, they're at the Memorial this weekend as they prepare in 2 weeks for the U.S. Open. That'll be played at Oakmont. So that'll be something to watch out for. Scotty trying to win another major to get closer to the Grand Slam.
Yeah, Sheriff for him. Sheriff was on the Tonight Show kind of talking about what Tiger said to him. Young man.
You mean Rory?
I'm sorry. I said, yeah, sorry. Got my wires crossed. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
But yeah, on there talking He's still a young man, and he's talking about winning some more. So yeah.
Yeah, he's got the hunger. I'm on vacation this week. I have golfed Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm playing tomorrow. I'm playing Saturday, and I'm playing Sunday. Friday right now is the only day I'm not playing.
Well,
So.
Brandon, I know we didn't really touch on wrestling night. I know we kind of short for time, which is okay. When you get a minute, I'm gonna send you a link, man. New Jack, rest in peace, man. You remember? Did you know New Jack used to mess around with Terry Rennell's? Goldust is he didn't mess around when they were married.
Right.
But like, man, oh my God, he got explicit stories.
Oh boy,
about him and Marlena. Explicit.
Damn.
No, man.
What did I watch the other night? I watched. By the way, Saturday night's main event, R-Truth and Cena. That was an entertaining little segment, match that they had.
Mm-hmm.
And now it looks like we're kind of gearing up towards Money in the Bank for WWE. Might have hey man,
it's gonna show up.
The Jey Uso championship run has kind of been a dud.
That's what I said, man. It's kind of been dried up, man. It hasn't held my attention. Sorry, Uso.
Yeah, so we'll see kind of where they go next with all that. But yeah. All right, folks. Jonathan Birdsong, Brandon Reef, join always the conversation continues on Facebook, continues on Twitter. We'll be conversating there. Pacer game tomorrow night, Game 5, Madison Square Garden, 8:00 on TNT. This could be the very last game as well, broadcasted on TNT tomorrow night. You'd have your last one on TNT with the Inside the NBA before they have to go over to ESPN with Charles, Kenny, Ernie, and all them. So could be an end of an era tomorrow night there as well. Hopefully it is good for the Pacers. But Pacers, one win away from the NBA Finals. Hopefully, John, the next time that we go live, our Pacers will be in the NBA Finals. And it's still hard to believe that this is where this team is at right now.
I will take a nap. I don't know when I'm going to do it because I got to work sun up to sundown tomorrow. But I'll take a nap somewhere part of the day, man. So if the Pacers do win tomorrow, when they do win tomorrow, not if, when they do win tomorrow, we'll go. If you sleep, I'm going to go live. But I plan to.
I will be live tomorrow night if we win.
Bet them up.
Perfect. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow night when the Pacers win Game 5. Go to the NBA Finals. See you tomorrow night.